All I wanna do is suck your big toe, suck it real slow, suck on your big toe. Ooh, that is from a Saturday Night Live skit that I remember seeing when I was younger. It, I don't remember who was in it, but that shit was hilarious, and it sticks with me. And so, sucking feet and this episode 6, is sticking with me. I can't remember the name of the episode, but I'm the Dad Panther, writer, streamer, content creator, master of none, and this is another episode as we do season. It's coming in hot. That's what it is. It's coming in hot. There you go. I looked at some notes on the side, and we just so hit the subscribe button, like, follow, comment. There's so much to get in this episode. Edmond towards the end, a big reveal. Like I said, this shit was coming with him and KB. Some shit with Joe, some shit with Nick, some shit with Jordan, shit everywhere. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Let's get into it. And at the end, I'll rate this episode. It is gonna be interesting. There's a lot to unpack on episode 6. I'm smiling because I'm excited because it was I feel like because I'm getting drawn in, and I'm like, I didn't want to get drawn in. I wanted to chill by the pool and not participate in the crazy games I shake my head at. And here I am. All right, so you have Patrick and Casey. Was like he still doesn't realize it's saying, "Oh, we're gonna meet later in Denver." It's over, man. It is over. She either has somebody else, and it's one of those situations, or what I'm believing is, and when she does say it, she says, "Hey," before she lies to his face. She says, "Hey, I don't find him attractive. I think there's a level of attraction that's there, not my type," and paraphrasing. And that is it. It's not gonna grow, regardless who that person is. And that's crazy, but it isn't because that's what love is. That's what relationships are. There's just so many things that go into factoring just getting together and staying together. So but it also shows what I said the last episode. You will play this game that is life for whatever reason. I think a lot of men and women do it on different levels, but you saw her giving affection, flirting, jumping in his arms multiple times, rather than really what I would have liked or respected if I was the guy in that situation. It hurts. It sucks. Tell me it is what it is, and go your separate way. Versus leading me to believe that there's something there just for the sake of television, and then only to find out it's recorded that that wasn't even true. So that was something. You have couples looking good. All right, so we're making it to the point of, I guess, getting the couples together so they can spend time, and each couple looks really good. Hair, makeup, the setting. The setting for the show production has always been good. It feels top level, and 9 years in, they're on to something, obviously. Um, Madison and Joe. Okay, so Madison and Joe, there's a lot of it. When they're out on it's a couple I don't think it's gonna work. When they're out on the boat, um, it's a lot of Joe, and you'll hear this from Joe and Nick. I'm just trying to connect it all. That it's almost like when you're saying that, at least I take it as like, I don't like you, and I'm trying to find out how I said like I want to marry you. I'm trying to connect that. The voice doesn't match. I thought you were prettier or had a different look, and I need time to figure that out. And it's always the guys. I need time to figure that out. And I feel like the women, they repeat it, but it's almost like just to kind of feel like it's there. Madison wants that same "I love you," that same passion, that same connection that she's giving. And I feel like a lot of the women are wanting that and needing that, and they're not fully getting it because Madison says, like, "Hey, you only say it when we're fucking, you say you love me." And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And he just laughs. I'm like, how is that not a red flag? Like, you're saying what you want or what you're not getting, and you're not getting it. But he went to, "Oh, your personality. I like your personality." And that is some. I guess they just don't hear it when they're there in the moment. I get it. Um, KB in her makeup, she pulls off her eyelashes. It made me think of the episode where Will Smith and it might have been Nia Long, where they're locked in a room in Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and she like pops off her nails and just drops in his hand, and Will's like, "Oh, like how much of your body isn't real?" And there's like, "Don't know if a body." don't know if her body was hers. Anyways, if you know, you know. I thought it was really cool to see KB stripped and still beautiful, still gorgeous. There's another one on the show that does something similar. It would be, is it Annie? Yeah, Annie. Um, she's always got that messy bun going on. It feels like she's not doing a lot, and it works. And someone else mentions that later. I wish it was more impactful for all of them to kind of be stripped in a way. Not doesn't have to necessarily focus on the ladies, but even with the guys, I think you kind of see it in the morning when they're waking up in the hotel. They show their face, and so you can see that. But it also looks like with some of them, they went ahead and put something on just to kind of save face, no pun intended. Um, you have the fact that KB needs more. I'm sorry. KB needs more. Again, we're only seeing what the editor, producer, director, whatever showrunner, we're only seeing what they want us to see in the story that they're telling. And what I'm seeing is Edmond isn't there for where she needs to be. Not that Edmond is bad, not that Edmond couldn't make somebody else happy, not that Edmond couldn't be married and all. I feel like through the trauma he's had in his life, it has affected his ability to read the room, his maturity, how he breaks down his emotions, and it's nothing against the individual. I am not a doctor or in the field to diagnose or break through with him. That is not the Dad Panthers all about. I will sit down and have Danny Tanner moments with my kids and tell them right or wrong, but that's a different conversation. When it comes to KB sounds so intelligent, especially emotionally intelligent. And there is a big difference. There's a lot of people walking God's green earth not emotionally intelligent. And when she talks and she speaks life into him and affirmations that as well as herself, and then morals that she stands on, she comes up to to Ed. And remember, I said there was some time where we didn't see this couple. And I felt like the producers and director, they were like, just wait. We know there's something. We know but we want to wait. And they waited until this episode to give us some really big moments. And one of them was KB is asking him if another man is physically grabbing me and saying, I'm yours, leave this guy. What are you going to do? And she did make it seem like the guy was bigger. And then she stripped the size and the muscle and said, he's just you. Same, everything that you can think of. He was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't do anything other than handshakes, hugs, and love and positive. I'll think lesser of that person. And it was really disappointing because in that moment, what she needs is a man. What she needs is security. What she needs is someone who is going to defend her, protect her. Though at times she says she doesn't need it or she doesn't feel like she needs it, respectfully, you still want that. It's maybe I'm just old school. It's my job as the man of my household to defend my kids. Even if, even if I tell my little ones, listen, that person is wrong, daddy's going to have a talk with them, but there is a chance that daddy's going to get knocked the fuck out. But let you know, I don't play no shit. And then whatever happens, happens, whatever happens. And that's just kind of what it is, but you still need to do that. And I've had moments with my wife where, there was my wife is she's a twin, and she'll get mad that I tell the story, but she's a twin. We went out somewhere and a person thought she was a coworker. And so we're out and we live in two separate cities, but we're out and the guy goes ahead and he's like, hey, and he goes to like grab her shoulder, like kind of high, nothing intimate or flirtatious, but it was enough for me because one, I'm already watching you cross the imaginary bubble that only me and my wife share together. And when he goes to grab her, my wife squeezes my hand, and that's like a code. Like, you're not picking up on what I'm picking up. This isn't something I'm okay with. Um, and so I was already kind of moving that direction, and I grabbed the guy, and I'm getting ready, getting ready to catch a charge, and the fear in this guy, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I thought it." And we laughed about it. He talked, and then we called the sister, the twin, and she was like, "Hey, it's true," and we still laugh about it to this day. But that's what the role KB's asking for. She doesn't mean that you're loud and you stepped on my J's, but it's not a Boondocks moment. And she wanted that confirmation or I don't know what word I want to say. She just really needed reassurance, is what I want to say. Reassurance that you could possibly, in theory, be that man. And the reason why she probably brought it up is because she doesn't think you're going to be that man because you've been doing some that's a little bit childish. But he says he wants to be a better person. And she's like, better person based off of what? What's your standard? All guys, all dudes. And you can hear the immaturity. You can hear she's having grown conversations. And she's like, don't worry about all dudes. Be better than what you were yesterday. That's all I'm asking for. Man, that is so deep. That is so deep, is what she's given. And I hope she gets what she's looking for. I don't know. Let's see. I got the other one, which is again, does Joe love Madison? There's moments that happens. There's moments with Nick where it just seems like it doesn't, when they're taking time in the pool and they're, reconnecting. It's like as soon as the women bring up something that, like, I want emotional love, I want it, I want to hear it, I want to see it, I want to feel it. It gets turned into, yeah, I want to fuck you. I just want to love on you and hug you and kiss you. And if I do that, I don't think about all the other stuff. And I I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. Do 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 do. KB at one point showcases something from Edmond. Edmond has paper towels on his head. He's got his pick. His pick goes everywhere. He has his rollerblades on and a bath towel, and he's dancing. And he's acting up. Is how it would look. I honestly just believe there's so much to unpack here. One, the pick that's everywhere. Listen, the pick, it could be a part of your style or something, but there's a time and a place for everything. And I get it inside the hotel room, but you see it pop out and they talk about it later when he goes out in public. It's everywhere that he's at. The other thing would be the hair thing, the toilet paper thing. I felt like that was maybe like Naruto, like a ninja, something like that. And he's got the rollerblades on. So when he mentioned before that his rollerblading group was so impactful and important of his life, because she asked him, "What's the most important clique you have?" He did say his mom and stressed that, and also in a way stressed the fact that, hey, we live together. I can move out of my mom's house, and you'll be my new mom. Do with that what you will. But it shows how important that is, that he even brought his rollerblades to this event, this experience, this whole experiment. And KB is just being super supportive of all of it. It's not wrong that he likes what he likes. Again, I'm just breaking down my opinion. It's not wrong that he likes what he likes. It's wrong whenever someone has hobbies or interests that don't line up with the other person and could create conflict. So what I mean by that is, if you play video games, if you are serious about your yard, so you're a lawn person, like gardening maybe, if you're into yoga, if you're into weightlifting, if you're into bicycling, hiking, there's so many different hobbies you do. You watch anime, whatever it is. If the other partner can't participate or doesn't like it or has negative views, or you do it a lot and there's no switch, if the if both people don't mutually agree on it, you could get conflict. And it just shows that there's conflict that's just already being set into the relationship early on. Again, I'm just seeing what I'm seeing. So we're in Mexico. You can check the link. Yeah, there might be some links in there. We get a kickback, but you maybe take a trip to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Mexico look gorgeous. Once again, they look gorgeous. It's the first time we get to see them see each other, and so it was a cool moment. Like I said in a previous episode, I didn't understand that concept. I was new to the show, and so it was cool that they got a chance to see each other and make those reactions. Some of the biggest reactions was actually Jordan. That Jordan had a certain voice that portrays something different. They're like, "Oh, I thought he was Spanish," or something they said. And again, it shows the tie of, you're trying to make this choice, and there's other things in the background that you're basing your choice off of. Um, from Blame It On Alcohol, they introduce alcohol. There's shots that are going around, drinks that are going around. I think there's some Mexican food in the background, which should have really been the star, in my opinion. Uh, and then the sun. And for me, being a Florida man, when you add liquor and sun, ooh wee, you get more than a cookout. You get more than a cookout. You're talking about a burger that is overcooked, hits the floor, and you brush it off a little bit and serve it up. And that's exactly what the show gave to us. As Ed gets Ed gets pushed. The seed is placed in his head by Tony. Tony tells him, "Hey, we're all out here fucking. We done fucked all of them. Like we all having sex, aren't you?" And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm not." But he reacts, and I'm just trying to be as respectful as possible. I don't know. I've never done reality reviews. He acts like somebody in high school would with some other guys that are in high school or college. It's a conversation that happens, but he reacts in that same mindset versus the other guys who are still, guys gonna be guys. Take that however you want. Um, it just you can see that it's hidden him, and I appreciate his honesty because he could have lied and then get exposed, but he could have done or said, but he was 100% truthful. And Tony separately lets him know, hey, I feel like if that was me, I would feel like it's not a real relationship and it's not this. Now, people who have a certain level of maturity or emotional intelligence, and there's a difference of those two, they would take that and say, I get it. You're right. It doesn't feel like I'm getting a connection, and I want connection based off this. Let me talk to this person about X, Y, and Z. He was taking it. You can see that he's taking it somewhere different. And I'm like, there's the ticking time bomb. It's there. It's sitting there waiting. You had Joe. Joe was tripping. Joe was drinking and he was tripping. He also didn't want to be anywhere near Madison. Everywhere Madison went, his ass went somewhere else. He was talking to the guys. He wanted to talk to. He talked to some of the ladies to the point that I think Annie was like, "Yo, you need to go somewhere else. Like you're bothering me for what I'm doing." Same thing happened to Jordan. This is why I said Jordan could. This is where you get revealed. Jordan was drinking, and Jordan just kept annoying Megan to the point that there's a line where Tony said, I wouldn't have pegged you for being Russian or something. Because again, you're learning the people, you don't know them. So they're finding out about Tony's background. And she says the word peg, and he's like, oh, you're going to peg Tony. So now, you know, Megan seems more conservative in this, where she's like, I don't want a sexual joke being done in general. And Jordan just keeps on it. And Joe and Jordan, like fucking Furbies, are talking to each other in this that the Sims would have been proud of. And what it did was it pissed off Megan, and Megan literally respectfully went off. Like, I won't say went off. She let him know that there was a boundary and he had crossed. And now Jordan, to his defense, he did, I believe, say to her, hey, listen, just say it and I'll stop. I'll chill, which is cool because you kind of get that. If you ever, drank around friends and had a little bit too much, someone can pull you in by just a tone or just whatever. And he's like, hey, listen, I get it. I'm kind of a little drunk. I can't really get a concept of what's going on, but you tell me what you tell me to stop, and I'm gonna stop for you because I love you. And he did do that. But he also flipped and he was like, I'm in timeout. Oh, guys, I'm in timeout. And I'm like, oh, he ain't been in a relationship long enough. So you had that basically just playing too much. And it went to the bigger scenes of how the show ends for episode 6. And so the two key moments that happen is at some point, Joe just is so disconnected. Madison wants to go chill and wants company elsewhere, just to chill, nothing, no foul play. And Joe, I guess, didn't like that, so he wanted to insert himself in there, but doesn't want to be with Madison, if that makes sense. I don't know if he worried that she was going to talk about him, whatever. So at some point, he says, you know what? I'm going to leave. And he leaves or just walks away from her. And she decides to stay. And when she goes back to his room, he is sleeping. She wakes him up, and he does repeat simple question, like, where were you at? Why did you go out to drink? I'm like, she was like, I was where we were the whole time and you left. Then he asked the same question again, or why are you dressed the way you are? I'm like, I was wearing this all day. And she brought him water. She rubbed his back. She was trying to like nurse him in just case it was a hangover. She's like, what's going on? But it did start scaring her because how they edited it was like, yo, I think even in previously, was he taking a bump or something? Was he on something else? How does he handle alcohol? All that stuff was brought to the light in that situation. And he just said, hey, look, I woke up. Everybody wakes up weird and different, which I'll give him that. I don't know how everybody wakes up. I'm more of a, if I'm up, I'm Korean. Korean? No, I don't even, I'm not, I'm not going to try that word. I do want to try it because I'm saying it in my head. I'm like, point blank. If I wake up, I'm up. That's it. I can start my day. You can answer, like, if you're like, hey, there's somebody knocking on the door, what's going on? And I wake up, I know the details on what's going on. And with him, He's booted like a 1998 version of Windows. It with AOL sound effects included, and she was crying, and it looks like she's has some serious choices to make, because maybe she doesn't need to take that walk and say I do, because this, like I said before, that's going to be something. The other one we see KB talking to Ed. Ed is rubbing her feet. Earlier, he was rubbing and kissing on her feet, which a lot of the women said, with Ed not being there, that they basically envied KB's male counterpart, because he was so in love, so infatuated, like whatever she needs, whatever, he's saying the right things, and he's showing like he's head over heels in love. And so you can see them wanting that, and the guys all like, Edmond, man, you're making us look bad. So now they're in the room. Edmond rubs her feet, and I'm saying in my head, I'm like, from a seasoned vet, dude, if you're gonna rub her feet, you're gonna do whatever. She's already told you that in 4 weeks, 30 days, y'all gonna fuck. Okay, when you get married, if everything works out, that's what it is. That's her standard. She told you that before you got here. So you have to understand that as you're doing something that could be deemed as intimate or foreplay or whatever the case, kind of get the mood going. And he just doesn't read the room again, doesn't have the emotional intelligence to understand it, it seems, because now KB does an amazing job of pulling it out of him respectfully, not raising her voice, not nothing, and even trying to get him to understand where he's going before he goes there. But point blank, he says, everybody else is walking, but we not. That makes me feel some type of way. And so she says, that makes you feel some type of way? And he's like, no, I don't. But then he goes back to like, yes, it does, because you probably slept with other people, which is rude to bring that in that conversation, especially if you had it behind closed doors. And she said, well, some people was 9 months. Some people, you gonna make me wait? No, I didn't say that. That's what she says. I don't say that. I said 30 days, 4 weeks. Yeet. But he doesn't get that. And he's like, so you telling me there was nobody else that got it quicker? And she was like, being honest, yes, there was. But those are people I didn't care about. Those are one night stands. They didn't even stay overnight. So you gave it up to people quicker, but you're going to make me wait 30 days. I'm like, you're not understanding. You're not getting it, man. Oh my gosh, you're not getting it. Her emotional intelligence and what she wants and needs out of a partner, it's so crazy to watch, because she goes and says, and breaks it down to him with respect in the tone. She's like, listen, the other guys in the group, they value sex a different way, which is true. You're watching how these guys value sex in a different way. And just everybody, whether reality shows, movies, television, film, whatever. And she's like, I value it different. And it means something to me. And the fact that I'm going to say I do, and I'm still going to have all that stuff is packaged together. And you don't see how so enriching that experience is versus whatever. And he didn't get it. He didn't get it. He went from laughing to crying, from crying to laughing in a heartbeat, as if he was an actor. And it's like, there's no way these guys are actors, everybody on the show. There's no way that casting was like, it could happen, but there's really. So you're watching, like I said before, I think episode 2, I said, hey, Mike and Ed are the same people. They're the same people, respectfully. They're taking advantage of a situation. You're trying to use the fact that she slept with somebody sooner or later, or that you should get a different status for her body. And she's not really trying to fight back tears or whatever, but I think she's got to figure out what's next. I don't see them walking down the aisle. I don't see Madison and Joe walking down the aisle. I see Nick playing his cards right. I see him walking down the aisle, but I don't know if that's going to be good. This is just an interesting cast for the first time I'm watching this show, and I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything off my notes. No, I didn't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. Let's go ahead and rate this thing. So we rate from a 0 to a 5, 5 being excellent, and a 0 being horrible. Now, the last episodes kind of dropped. The show has had some high moments thus far. But probably the biggest thing that I really enjoyed was really getting a chance to see the dynamics of these couples and watching it all burn it down. Seth, 1, 2, 3 count. Check it out if you're into wrestling. I'm gonna rate this a 5. I'm gonna rate this a 5. It's a mother effing 5. Like you held KB and Ed back what felt like 2 episodes to give us banger after banger after banger of that tea, and I appreciate that. We got a chance to see all these couples with a little alcohol, a little sex, a little sun, and you watch what it did, and I think it started some shit. And episode 7 is gonna be interesting. It is going to be telling. I don't of all the couples I'm seeing, I think Tony and Allie are the only ones, and I feel like Tony sits back like he's watching and he's making sure he doesn't say the wrong thing, so he doesn't put himself in a situation. And Allie is all in love. They're fucking and they're having a good time. A lot of them are fucking, but they're not all having a good time. So I hope you had a good time. You could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here, and I greatly appreciate that. Never thought I would be watching reality TV, not like this. Damn it, not like this. But yeah, first time watching the show, and this cast, respectfully, is a cluster. And I'm not saying they're bad people or judging. I'm saying if the show is about getting together with love, and that's what I wanted. I wanted like a romantic drama, a romantic rom-com. Or I didn't want a dramedy, and this is what this is becoming. So could have been anywhere in the world, and you chose to be here. Until next time, don't fall in love, man. That shit hurts. Click.